everybody. Okay, this is the interview with Ashley Birmingham. So I need to tag her on and then I'll pull her onto the. There we go. Cool. Hopefully people get an update that we're live. If not, that's fine. Yay! She's here. Hi, Ashley. Let me see if I can bring you on. Yep. Cool. Hi, Sharissa. It says,
Hello. Oh, it worked.
yes, awesome. So cool.
Yes.
So you got
Not
time
used
by
to keeping my
yourself?
camera sideways. Huh?
You got some time by yourself today?
Yes.
Awesome.
The toddler is actually napping, which I never know when that's going to happen. It just happened to be now.
I know
So,
exactly
yes.
what you mean.
When?
Yes. Maybe I should have headphones. Can you hear me good? Or
I can
hello?
hear you good, yeah.
Okay. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Angie. Okay, so basically what we're doing is Ashley was one of the, I don't even know what you would call it, like one of the first Wild Rebels, right?
Attendees?
One of the
Something
first
like that.
Rising Rebels? I don't know. We'll have to figure out a name for it.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with a name.
But it was just, I was so impressed with everybody's internal transformation that I wanted to share it with you guys because, there's a lot of hype online. There's a lot of, join my program, do this, that, and the other. And,
yeah.
You never know if you're going to join a program and it be stuff that you already know and stuff that you've already done. And especially the way I market, I just, here's the problem, like, and I'm your solution. That's the way I market. So people never actually know what we're doing. So I just wanted to like bring some people on and ask a few questions. I think there's like, I want to say 10. I'm not really sure. I can't count that fast.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to try and do this within a 30-minute time period. If it goes a little over, that's fine. If that's good with you. But okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to end up actually cutting the video right here and then starting our interview.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, Ashley, thank you so much for being on today.
Thanks.
And I just want to ask you these questions. So what was your life like before you jumped into Wild Rebel Rising?
All over the place. It was really all over the place in so many aspects. I have been on kind of my own personal development, I guess is what you would call it, journey for a while. And up until then, I'd had pretty good success with kind of doing it on my own, Again, there's so many coaches out there that are like, do this program, and I, at least up until now, was like, I don't feel that I'm needing that because I'm perfectly fine with kind of, propelling myself and learning and growing, and it seemed like it was fine. But I was kind of getting stuck in a rut where I realized that I couldn't keep going without some type of external help. And I think a lot of people go through this. You just get to a place where you're like, I can't see past my own shit.
Yep.
to like keep going. So, it was kind of a lot of things. I was realizing that most of my days, I just kind of wasn't happy with the life that I was in. Not that I'm necessarily unhappy with my circumstances, but I just found day to day, I wasn't really all that happy. I wasn't having joy in the things that I thought that I did anymore. I was questioning, my life and my business and my choices, and like, I felt like really stuck. And I didn't really know how to get out of that place. And I was dealing with a lot of repeating patterns of life lessons like we all go through. You go through the same thing. If you don't learn and integrate and kind of move past that, you're going to get slapped in the face with it over and over again. And I had gotten so frustrated because I was facing an issue, particularly with relationships and with my spouse, that I had thought that I had done the work and I had thought that I had moved past it, but it was like slapping me in the face over and over again. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. So I was just really stuck and lost pretty much.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I know I went through too, is having the repeating lessons. Our biggest thing was, our biggest one was money. it was always money. Like we would get maybe like $2,000 in our savings account, and then some crisis would happen, and then
Yep.
we would have like negative in our bank account. And it
Hmm.
was just like this thing. And, we were always like fighting about money, not like really fighting, but like
Right.
blaming each other and stuff like that.
Enough to where it was affecting,
Yeah.
day to day. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I think, my biggest repeating lesson. So I totally get the
Hmm.
repeating lessons. And I'm
Yeah.
really happy that you're able to like freely share that information. And we had a one-on-one in Absolute
Hmm.
Freedom Concept too, like live. You
We did.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we kind of already knew what it would be like to work with each other, and that was
Yeah.
cool. So how did you feel whenever you saw, or like whenever you decided that you knew that you must join Wild Rebel Rising? It was last
So
minute too. It was so last minute.
it was. So it's funny because, and even during the process of the program, I had kind of been on, I think it's just because, my business is online, and I had gone through a phase of just consuming so much information, so many live videos from so many different people, and, blah, 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 that I was kind of just burnt out, and I wasn't really paying attention to anybody. Like, I think that, I think I had seen a bunch of your lives, but I was like, save for later, and I was not going back and watching them. Like, I was totally checked out of the internet world. And it was actually one of my friends, Emily. She had, I guess, known about the program. I had no idea about it, and she had messaged me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, did you see this? Like, I think I want to do this." And I was like, what are you talking about?" I was like, "Okay, I'll go watch the video, because if you're bringing it up, I'll go watch it." And it was, I don't remember the exact title, but it was about like getting off the carousel of like, again, hitting the repeating patterns and just being stuck and stuck and stuck and like not being able to go anywhere. And I was like, "You're speaking to my soul." and and again, like, there's so many coaches out there, and there's so many different programs, and it's so hard to know, like, am I actually going to get value from this? Because I feel like, although I have never actually worked specifically with a coach beforehand, because I've never felt like I needed to, or one that really called to me, it I mean, I guess because I had been in your group, I had seen, I know that you weren't just doing a program where it was going to be like fluff of, well, I didn't really learn anything from that.
Hell no.
And I knew, right, and I knew that I was just, I was stuck, and I kind of hit the ultimatum with myself that if I don't, because it's like I could absolutely say, nah, I'll pass. Like, that sounds great, but, I'm sure there's going to be something down the line next time that I can go join in whenever. But I realized that I wasn't ever going to get out of that situation unless I took action in some aspect. And I knew that, the group program and the video that you did resonated with me, and I was like, this is literally the universe, like, here you go, here's your answer if you want to take it. And if I would have not, it would have been me being stuck and having to deal with getting slapped in the face, and feeling like I'm spinning my wheels in the mud until, who knows how much longer. Could have been years longer, so
I feel that so
yeah, I
much
just
in my
hit the
heart.
ultimatum with myself.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about. And then you kind of
Hmm.
like have to fight with your intuition. And especially about the, oh, well, I'll do another one later on. Like for anybody
Right, because you're
watching
like,
this,
there's always coaches. Somebody's going to offer something else next week, and it's not, I'm not missing out on anything. But I did kind of hit that of like, I need to do this, and I need to do this now,
yeah,
which for me was my personal, like, uh, I had to do it. I had to do it.
that's so awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, anybody who's like thinking right now that this is going to happen again, it's not. Like, this is the last time. Okay, so just wanted to put that out there. So that, I guess that answers the next question. What made you decide to jump in? Your line in the sand moment, that was your ultimatum. It was like done. So
Yep.
we'll just go on to the next one. So what was your intention? Was it just getting out of that space? What result did you want to create
So,
more?
funny enough, because I actually went back into the group last night and I looked at what I wrote in the intention post because I was curious. Because even though it was, well, I don't know, I think it was over a month now that we finished, and obviously we did it for 6 weeks. So I was like, I don't even remember word for word. I knew that my initial intention was I needed to get stuck, or needed to get unstuck.
Yeah.
But I looked back at what I was kind of going through that time, because obviously during the time there was a lot more emotion behind it of like, I'm really frustrated. And the intentions that I had set out were basically that I needed to get over my own shit. It was, I think I was just dealing with a lot of like so many choices, and I felt like I was my soul was pulling me in so many different directions, and I didn't really know or trust or like, I was just kind of like stuck at like a million different crossroads, and again, stuck in my own like repeating life lessons. So my intentions were to get past my own shit, because I knew that it was going to be deep, and I knew that it was kind of a lot of like really deep inner work that was causing all of that. So I knew that I needed to finally face it, because I had been really procrastinating on it for a really long time, for years that I had been doing this spiritual journey. I had known, a lot of these issues probably stem from things in my past and things that I don't want to face because it's not comfortable. But my intention was that I need to face this, I need to get past this, and then just getting over fear. I think it was getting over fear, getting over shame and judgment around my own transformation, and I knew that this was going to be my next up level. So that was also my intention of
Yeah.
up leveling myself, because I knew that I was there. I just needed to take the leap to actually, hop over the fence on that.
Yeah, I think that that's something that we can safely say that everybody had an up level. That's
Oh yeah.
absolutely my intention.
Oh yeah.
So, and it's really cool because everybody's intentions, it seemed like, were deep, deep inner work. And when we're doing inner work by ourselves, what happens is our ego distracts us. It shows us what's wrong, but that thing is not actually the thing, because what is actually happening is way over there on the other side, and you're not paying attention to that. And then whenever and the way that I coach or teach is I ask really intense questions, and I let you find the answer for yourself, because that is the only way you're going to shift. People cannot just tell you, like,
you can't just tell you the answers and you get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, if that was the truth, every single thing that we've watched online free would be good enough.
Would have fixed us all right now, right? We'd all be magically fixed.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so do you remember what your biggest breakthrough moments were? Like maybe 1, 2, or 3?
So I had a couple. And I think I think this wasn't just this program. I think anytime that you're doing work, a lot of times your intentions will really kind of come together, and you'll see the universe start moving stuff really fast. So I had a lot of that, just like the universe really lining things up, because I was in alignment. I was, kind of taking the first step. But I know that for me, the biggest like aha moments and the breakthroughs that I had were one, and this is going to sound crazy for anybody who has never done this before, doesn't know that they can do this, but being able to control time and space sounds crazy, but that was probably the biggest one. Because a lot of my day to day, just kind of like being frustrated, with my own life and feeling like I don't have time to do what I want to do. And, I've always kind of had this disconnect of being the 5D, infinite soul, and I want to do all these amazing things, but then feeling held back by the 3D body and world that I live in, and the responsibilities that come with that. So I've kind of always had a hard time juggling the two and combining the two, and feeling like they're two separate things in my life. So being able to just know that I can control time and space has been huge. It's actually helped a lot with my anxiety that I deal with, as far as like, oh my gosh, I'm frantic, I don't have enough time to do things, like, and then I just kind of spiral. So that was a really big breakthrough for me. And it took me not very long, maybe like a week, to really master that and to get the concept, and to, and now it's huge. So that was a big one, controlling time and space. And then I think just knowing where my imbalances were. And this was something that I couldn't see myself. I really needed, you or somebody else externally to recognize that in me, because I had been kind of looking for that. But I, to be honest, had never paid much attention to, feminine energy, masculine energy, like how that's supposed to balance out. For some reason, I just never really learned about that or looked too much into it.
And you probably
so I didn't really recognize that.
Like, you probably have learned about it, but like,
yeah, vaguely, but like it never.
The information.
Exactly. It didn't catch my interest. I didn't really know what anybody was talking about. I didn't really know why it all, everybody kind of talks about it from a business standpoint of like, offers and coaching and like business offers. And that kind of wasn't really what I was focused on anyway. But just kind of bringing awareness to where my energy is and when it's off balance and how it's off balance. I think that was the biggest thing, is like, I was so stuck specifically in my own relationships and like communication, because I had gotten to a point where I genuinely didn't know if it was me or him. Like, I could not tell. I'm like, is this something that I need to work through, and I've got these crazy triggers and I'm just like totally beside myself and my ego is blinding me and I don't see it, or is it genuinely like there's nothing wrong with me and it's all the other party is the one that needs to go do the inner work, right? I
Mhm.
could not tell. I had no idea and I was stuck there. So knowing where my imbalances were and knowing kind of where those came from, I think was a big thing, because again, somebody can tell you, oh, your chakras are underlined, or oh, your masculine energy is overtaking, but it's like, well, that's cool, but unless you
Why?
know what to do with that information,
Yeah.
like it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter. You can't just fix yourself knowing, not that you're ever going to fix yourself, but you can't move forward with that. It was knowing where that came from and being able to really identify that at a core, because now I can do that even now. If I feel that I'm getting unaligned,
You just
going
become
back to that
hyper
and really
aware.
seeing. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and and I already had always been good at, being able to really self-identify and be real with myself of like, what's going on here? What am I feeling? But at the same time, I had never gone back that far to really figure out where is this coming from and how is that actually affecting my day-to-day life.
Totally.
So that was a big breakthrough too. I think I had written something down, but I don't remember what. I think those were mainly
Those are
mainly the same things.
huge.
Just right, knowing how to go back and to do that work and how to, like even now, even though the program's done,
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to go back and do that work with anything that pops up,
Yep.
I think was kind of the biggest breakthrough, because that's not something that I'm ever going to lose now. That's
Totally.
always going to help me.
Yeah, I think that that's one of my main missions in coaching, or whatever you want to call me, like whatever I do, is that you walk away from the work we do together knowing how to do it yourself. Because
Mhm.
I frankly, like, there are coaches that will tell you that you need to coach forever, right?
Right.
And I don't always think that that's true, because there's been
Right.
times where I started working with a coach and I actually um, went a little, I wouldn't say backwards, but I definitely had it. It was only like, a month, but it definitely went um, repelled from where I was headed because of the misdirection and stuff like that. I didn't have time
Right.
to spend alone in my own alignment and things like that. And so I always make it a very, very critical point to make sure that you know how to coach yourself, because you need to have
Right.
that. Like, you have to have that. If you don't, then you're going to be
Mhm.
spending thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars
You're going to
on.
be dependent on coaches.
Totally. Yeah. And that's the
Yep.
biggest thing, is like becoming self-sufficient in your journey, in your alignment journey. Like, I don't want you guys to
Mhm.
constantly always have to hire me, right? Like,
Right.
I
And
want
that's
you
the
to
up
be
level.
self-sufficient. Yeah, totally. Hell yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's really huge. And I think you kind of answered how that affected you in your life. So we'll just
Yeah.
skip over that one. Um,
Double hitting the answers.
so which one out of those is the one that you're most proud of? Like,
Um,
or anything that you're most proud of achieving through the process?
so I think it was really just get, and it's funny because this answer is almost different than anything that I touched on just a second ago, but it was really knowing how to do that work for myself, because that also allowed me to actually get in touch with myself and get in touch with my own intuition, which I already kind of was, but we go through periods, or at least I do, where I kind of shut that out and I get really caught up in, the physical, I gotta do the dishes and take care of my kid and, all this other kind of stuff, that just flies out the window. And then I kind of get stuck in, feeling like the sky is falling and I can't get myself out of where I am. And it was knowing how to do that work and being able to kind of come back to myself. Um, because that has been able to, even not necessarily just like with working through shadow work, which is a big part of what that transformation and what the process you taught us does, but just day to day, like realizing when I'm spiraling and being able to immediately like stop it and redirect it. Whereas before, um, I was really, really stuck in thinking, and really believing and living that if I started my day out bad, it was shot. Like I didn't get a better chance until the next morning. Like my whole day was shot, and I would try to kind of redirect myself and it never worked. I was still just moping, but knowing how to actually like step into that and accept it and not resist it, and then still be able to change it, has been honestly huge, just for my day-to-day, my mood, my anxiety, my relationships, just everything. That has been probably the most
And
helpful thing for
and
me
it's
day to
really
day.
allowing your gifts to come out too. And we don't have
Oh
to
yeah.
really get into the gifts if you don't want to, but like your
Hmm.
gifts are definitely coming through like
Oh
big
yeah,
time.
and that was just coming back to it again because I would get so caught up in, feeling like my day wasn't mine and that I had all these things that I wanted to do and all these things that my soul was wanting me to do and calling me to do, but it was just like I have so many other responsibilities that I can't. And I know that that was a big thing when I started that was pretty deep, is that I didn't quite know what my soul was wanting from me.
Yeah.
I just knew that I was unhappy, and so I was kind of looking at other people, and I would have these thoughts of like, man, it would be really nice if I could just run away and not have any responsibility, or
Hell yeah.
but I really couldn't tell. I'm like, is that what I actually want and what I need, or is that it just sounds good because I'm so stuck in my own circumstances,
I
you know?
totally remember that now. I remember that
Yeah,
moment whenever
I
you're
didn't.
like, you know, it was a battle for you. Wow. I
Right.
cannot even believe.
Yep.
Wow. It seems like seriously, it seems like a year ago. Like,
No, it
I don't know
does.
why.
I
It
know, and
feels
I'm just like
so
remembering
long.
this stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
crazy.
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 Okay, so this round, okay, so that the one that
Dog.
Ashley was in, there was three different options. There was Wild Rebel Rising, Basic, Plus, and VIP. So the
Mhm.
basic program was one where you only have one-on-one call. And a lot of people, first it started out being a $2,000 program. This was the only option, but I knew a lot of people could not afford it. And a
Mhm.
lot of it, what it really was that you couldn't perceive the value in paying that much money for something happening in
It
your
was a
life.
scary leap. Mhm.
Totally. And so Ashley is one of the ones that, and there's many, like I'm not calling Ashley out or anything,
No, you're fine.
that was like, that got in on the basic plan. And I'm so grateful for that, just because like I want to transform as many people's lives or be the activating force in that sort of transformation. That is my life's purpose, right? And um, so we had one call and we talked for way longer than like what the time on the
Oh
schedule
yeah,
said.
like
But
hour and a half or something.
yeah,
We were just
and
flowing.
I'm kind of known for doing that. I kind of like way overdo it with like client calls and stuff. So on my calendar, it's scheduled out, booked out like 2 hours. No one can book after that. So
Right, right.
but I feel like so I changed it. So that's not an option anymore because I've seen the
Mhm.
transformations that everybody's undergone internally on your own. And then just from that one call, I know is where you shifted a lot. That was the time and
Yep.
space thing. That was the deeper shadow work. That was the understanding your relationship. That was everything like in
That
that
was
one
literally
call.
everything. Yep.
Yeah. So if you had a chance to go back and do it again, knowing that like you would have six of those, like, would it be
I
worth
can't
it
even
for you?
imagine what would have happened if we had 6 calls
I
together.
know.
Like
I
that would
think
have been
about it too.
crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely would have. And again, you're right. It it was one of those things where, and let's be honest, majority of people are scared to invest, obviously. And I kind of like am on both sides of the fence. Like I do know that there is benefit investing myself and putting money into doing that. Especially when you need it, when you're at a point where you can't do it by yourself anymore and you need somebody else. But that was obviously a really big thing, and I definitely would have. I can't even comprehend how much more I would have accomplished, or we would have really broken through having more than the one-on-one, or just the one-on-one.
Right.
The one call again was literally. So I remember. I think the way that we did it was you let us kind of schedule whenever we wanted to.
Yeah.
So I don't think mine was scheduled like right at the beginning. I think it was maybe like week 2, like the tail end of week 2, something like that. Um, and while I was doing the work and I was getting benefit, I did sometimes you can get really caught up in the day-to-day, like the journaling and the tasks and the deep work, and kind of feel like it's not working or like you're not going anywhere or like you're stuck. And that was really the big catalyst of, just breaking through my ceiling, and really from then on is when I really started seeing,
Yeah.
everything lining up and changes happening, and really seeing the work that I was doing make a difference versus just feeling like I was just journaling, and I knew it was doing benefit, but at the time, you get stuck in that, like, it's not working fast enough, all that kind of stuff.
Hell
So
yeah.
I definitely think that for the people going through it, I think it's good that they don't have the option to kind of cheat themselves into into just one call.
That's
because
why.
we all do that of like, it's good enough. One call is better than nothing. So, it's the cheapest. I'm just going to take it so that I can get in. I won't feel so bad about the money that I'm putting, all this other kind of stuff. But the transformation is so much more than just, doing the work yourself and doing the live videos, is having that check-in,
Totally.
it's huge.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's another thing that I kind of want to bring up is like you're not losing anything. You're actually gaining
Right.
a lot. You're gaining like your
Mhm.
clarity, your sanity. You're gaining like alignment. You have like I don't know. It's just so I think it's just so super important. And the I forgot what I was gonna say, so we'll just move on to the next question. Um, I do that a lot, even in the program. So
No,
deal
me
with it.
too. I'm scroll
Okay.
brain. Yep.
It's just if it disappears, maybe it just wasn't meant to be said at that time. I was gonna say something about those of us that live in the 5D and 3D, like where we're striving for it. It was something about that, but yeah, I
Maybe it'll
try
come
not
back.
to think about what I'm gonna say next whenever someone's talking to me. I think that
No,
that's
I know
super
it trips me
important.
up, and then I'm lost, and yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's super important. Okay, so let's just wrap it up into one overall experience. And would you recommend this to people? And what would you
Ugh.
say to people who are sitting on the fence?
Um. Oh gosh, where do I even start? So overall, and again, I had kind of mentioned this throughout the other questions, but overall, it was more than just. And again, I have not ever been in other coaching programs, not to this extent, where I'm working one-on-one with a coach or doing any group coaching programs. So I can't really speak on like what a normal transformation is in those types of things, because I really have no idea.
Not this.
But
I
at
can
least,
tell you that.
right, at least from what I would have expected or what I thought came from a coaching experience, this was literally leaps and bounds more. Um, because it wasn't just, well, and again, it goes along with the way that you teach and the way that you activate people, not just like, here's what worked for me and apply it to yourself, because that does not work for everybody. Most of the time, it really doesn't. So it was so much bigger and so much more profound than I thought it would. I knew that obviously my intention was to kind of get myself unstuck, but obviously there's that fear and that doubt that like, what if it doesn't work? Like, what if it's not enough? Or what if I end up, spending money and having to spend more and all this other kind of stuff? But it propelled me so much farther than anything I could have done on my own. And I was thinking about this last night. I honestly believe that if I had just never done the program and just kind of continued on, I would have been stuck in that place for probably years, like just kind of still in the
Mm-hmm.
same rut, not being able to up level, and just, what, 6 weeks, and not even like, I probably got most of the concepts halfway through. It was just kind of refining them and working through them and integrating them. So overall, it was life changing. It really was. And that sounds super cheesy, obviously. but like on a deep level, it's done so much. Not even for me, but like I see it in everybody else who went through it too. Like all of us are up leveling together. Like regardless of the fact that we all had different goals, we all had different intentions, we we're all in completely different places in our lives. And it could have just been like, kind of working independently and like, yeah, I don't really know anything about you, and you don't really, have anything to do with my story and what I'm trying to accomplish. But just us all doing that same work together, we're all up leveling together, and we're going to continue. Like, I
Yeah,
can tell that it hasn't stopped. It is not going to stop. Like,
it's a
all of us
true
are going
tribe.
through massive shifts.
Yeah,
It really
we
is.
built a
Yeah.
family.
So, no, really. And I was thinking about this the other night too, that, um, obviously doing this kind of work, I've always kind of felt like I've been really close to my next up level. Like all of the surface level stuff, the spiritual stuff that I had been really consumed with, for, up until now, maybe the past year, I've been kind of over it. And I've been kind of really feeling like nobody was on the same page as me. Everybody wanted to still be talking about like, high vibe all the
Manifesting.
time and
Yeah.
manifestation, and yeah, and that's great because I love that stuff. But I felt like there was nowhere for me to go and ask these questions of like, guys, I'm having a crazy experience and my gifts are like blowing through the ceiling and like all of this weird stuff. And now, even just the fact that we all went through that program together, like that's the one place that I feel like you guys understand, you know. the crazy concepts and the crazy shifts, you know, that I really can't find anywhere else. So in that aspect, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as anybody else, because I know that I'm sure that there's a lot of people on the fence about this. Because I'm
Yeah.
one of those people where when I see group programs, I'm really quick to get on board with something and to get myself hyped up for it, and then to really fizzle out towards the end. Like that's always been my thing. So I'm
Me
always like, oh
too.
my gosh, a group program, that sounds amazing. And then I start looking into it, and then like 2 days later, I'm like, I'm over it, you know.
Yeah, and
So
you
I
know,
know
like
that I'm not the only person
98%,
like that.
you know, 98% of people wait until like the last couple of hours. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
normal.
because you're like, well, especially because the ego too, you know, like your soul is like, I want to do this, and then immediately you're like, oh my god, where's the money gonna come from? What's gonna happen? You know, and then you just start freaking yourself out and second guessing, and it's really easy to do that. But
Yeah.
for the people that are on the fence, now obviously every group program is gonna be different. Everybody's at a different level of where they're at and if they need help and all that other kind of stuff. Because again, I felt that up until this point, I didn't really need coaching. I didn't need a group program. Although now I probably could have benefited from it a long time ago. But if you are kind of in that same place of feeling like you can't get any farther by yourself, or you just want things to go a little bit faster, I don't necessarily think that you need to wait until you're completely stuck in the mud and you have no other options, because this will just propel you a lot farther
Sometimes it
than
takes
you would have
that
on your
though.
own. But
Sometimes it takes
right, you
that.
kind of need a kick in the pants to, you know, and somebody else to really propel you and to just bring in these concepts that you've never even thought of or never even knew about, that's transformational. So for the people that are on the fence, I definitely would recommend it, especially for anybody who knows that they have triggers that they still need to work through, or if they still have things coming up like fear and doubt and shame, and which are the things that I was going through. Um, Honestly, like for me, it was just feeling out of control with my own life, feeling like I didn't hold the reins, I was not touching the steering wheel, things were just going and I had no control over it. I think those are the people that really benefit from this the most, because it's just a total transformation of all of that. So I probably rambled. I don't know if I answered the question, but
No,
there's
no,
that.
that's perfect. That's awesome. And you know, something that I wanted to talk about too is that like it's all the people together watching the same thing, doing the same work, having totally different experiences. Okay, that's it. I really want to bring that point
Hmm.
home because I show you how to bring your your wild rebel out. Okay,
Right, and
and
that was
this
different
is
for
like
everybody.
yes, exactly. So like everybody's going to need something different, but by doing this same work, and then you're going to have this experience that you're having, and then, you know, in a few months if you want to do it again, the thing's available for you. And you can do it
Yes,
again and you're
yes.
going to have a totally different experience. That's why the cover photo of, I mean, my featured photo on my Facebook page, it says Rebel Revolution for this group right here, be more
Hmm.
you. Because the more you become, the more you enjoy your experience. Like,
Oh,
you
definitely.
just do. And the more you
Oh, and
can
that's
say,
where it
fuck
comes
it.
from too.
Yeah, like, fuck it.
Yep.
I'm not going to let anybody make my decisions for me anymore. I'm not going to be scared to be all of me anymore. And that's what
And that's hard
everybody
for a
is.
lot of people.
Yeah, totally. And it was
Yep.
one of the biggest things for me too. And, you know, they say, people coach what they need the most, right? Like people teach what they
Hmm.
need the most. So like, this isn't just some bullshit that I pulled out of the sky. Like this is the work that I do on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And that's, I make that a point through the whole thing too, is that like, I am doing this work with you guys. I
I
do
was
it
gonna say
over
it
and
showed
over.
because we could see your transformation too. It
Yep.
wasn't just you teaching us. It was you literally like, here's the framework. I'm a student as well. I'm doing this as well. And it wasn't just us having these great, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's like you were also going through the trenches
And I share
just
it with
along with
y'all too, right? Like I
them.
get
Hmm.
fucking
Yep.
vulnerable. Like let me just say, I haven't talked to my mom in over a year and a half, and in this first Wild Rebel Rising, there was a point where I was helping everybody try and push through their biggest fear, and so what I did was I confronted mine too. This is how I activate people. I don't activate people by
Yep.
talking to you. I activate people by being in the energy of the person I was born to be. And consciousness, it collides. And
Yep.
the people that invest in my energy experience my energy. And they do the work too. Obviously it's half, half you're doing, and like,
Right.
half sharing this energy. And that's just what it is. Like, if you're working with a coach that is not doing the work, that is not in, oh, and I even did a long ass post of shadow work. um it was really embarrassing for me to share, but like, it has to be done. So if you're working with a coach and you don't see them doing work on themselves, you don't see them being vulnerable and releasing their truth, or exposing themselves, like, the chances are their energy is not going to activate you in the way that you need to be activated. And I'm not putting any coach down. And if you are a coach and you're not doing this, do it. It is so important for you to be vulnerable. So important, because that's the only thing people connect to,
Yep. And I think it gives a frame of reference too, like, especially in the beginning, we all started to really gain traction, a couple weeks in when we started to see the change in ourselves. But I think initially, and that's always the big fear of everybody's like, is this going to work? How do I, and so obviously when you're doing shadow work, it's uncomfortable, and you do have to face things that are not the funnest things to dig through.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of nice, and again, which is why I think the group aspect was nice as well, because it's not just, here's a self-study, you do it, and then it's like, well, what is that even supposed to look like? Like, how is that going to look as you go through the process? Like, or how do I know if I'm even doing it right? Which, again, it's going to be different for everybody, but it was so helpful seeing everybody else also going through this, because, again, even though our life circumstances were so different, everybody had their own crap that they were going through that was not related to each other. We're all living in different parts of, the world, really. But the fact that we could kind of see each other going through these transformations, not only was it kind of a confidence booster, because especially when we're being faced with doing things that we know is terrifying and that we know that we've put off for so long, it's like, I don't want to do that. But it's so much nicer being able to see other people also going through the same thing, and like, look, I'm alive. I didn't die.
Exactly.
Like, it's fine, and just having a frame of reference of like what that actually looks like, I think was more helpful, because otherwise it's really easy to cop yourself out, and when you're doing a self-study and be like, I kind of did it, and then not actually, do it to the full effect that is actually going to be beneficial.
Totally. That's another reason why there's not, the basic plan anymore too, is because, I feel like everybody did amazing, but if there was just slightly a little bit more accountability, it would.
It's a little easy to cop out if you're not really invested in making sure that you don't fall too far behind and do the work, and it can be, but that's also the self-motivating. You have to be ready to do this work for the transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is not easy. Like Ashley said so many times, it's not easy, but it's quick. 6 weeks, guys. It's not even 6 weeks. It's like over in like 3 weeks, the pain of it. And
and
you're
it's
not
snowballs
having to deal
too.
with that pain alone. It's what?
Yep. I said it's snowballs too. So it's not, well, it's not even necessarily, that you go through the whole 6 weeks is going to be horribly terrifying and fearful, because that's kind of what I was expecting a little bit, not going to lie, of like, this is going to be really out of my comfort zone. This is going to be a long 6 weeks of like, oh my gosh, what is she going to make me do? What are we going to have to do? But it's like, once you kind of get over the hump, it's not nothing but horribly deep, like, fearful work. It's you start making little shifts, and it snowballs, and you gain confidence, and it's kind of the same concept as manifesting. Like, once you start doing it and you realize, oh my gosh, this is working, I'm making shifts,
and
it's
this
no longer
totally helps you manifest.
Scary.
Yeah, no.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, well, I mean, do you have any ending thoughts so we can kind of close it here? I so appreciate you doing this. I was so excited whenever you told me that you made your appointment. I was just like, yes. And then at 3 o'clock we have Jen. Jen's on. Hi, Jen.
I know. I can't wait to watch it. Hopefully you can't hear this. This is like pouring rain out around me.
Oh no, it's fine.
Oh, okay. It's probably because I have a headphones in.
Oh, I can see it now. I was looking for it. I can see it now.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I love this kind of weather. Oh, okay. Good.
Okay, yeah. So we have Jen at 3, and then we have Candace at 6. This is Central Time. And then tomorrow we have Sharissa. Tomorrow's Monday, right? Sharissa's at 4:30 Central Time.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday is Cordell at 11 a.m. So we got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys, and it's gonna be amazing. And I just thank you so much for doing this with me.
Of course.
I feel even more confident hearing like all of that from you. So it's really awesome. So if you have any like closing words that you want to share, you can go for it. If not, then that's fine too.
I don't know. I guess I'll say something quick. And I mean, I'd already reiterated all of this, but if you're on the fence, if you feel called to do this, listen to that. That was kind of, again, the biggest thing that I learned is learning how to get in touch with my own intuition and learning how to trust that and not be fearful of it. But I know that I was at that place of hearing it and going, I don't know. Yeah, like I've never done any other group coaching programs, but I already know that this blows them all out of the water. Like, you can do as many group programs as you want. You can hire as many coaches as you want. And it's going to help you, but it's not going to help you like this is going to help you. This is literally like, it's a lifetime transformation. It's not just, I'm helping you where you're at right now. And then, if you end up hitting another roadblock, well, I guess you'll have to come back and call me.
Yeah.
It's literally lifelong skills
Totally.
that is going to continue to propel you through your journey, and like regardless of whether it's spiritual, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your business, your fears, like just the concept can be applied to anything. And I think that is the biggest thing that like nobody knows how to do. And side note, it's funny because now that and obviously I'm not an expert at this stuff. This isn't the work that I do, like teaching other people. But since I went through the program, I'm in all these Facebook groups like we all are, seeing other people asking questions and kind of working through their own things. And I'm now able to recognize that in other people. Totally. I can see that and say, you should have gone through this program.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just crazy how much it really affects everything.
I should get you guys affiliate links for this program.
Oh yeah.
That would
I've
be
been
cool.
like shouting you out like crazy.
I know.
Everybody's
so
like, like, you need this group program.
Thank you for that. Oh, I love it.
Of course.
Yeah, it's kind of like, here's the tools, now go do life. Like, forever.
Yep.
Okay. Because I'm telling you guys again, this is the work that I do on myself all the time. I mean, this is it. Okay. You don't have to think about, a million different ways or anything like that. You don't keep searching for new techniques to, build your life into the way you want it. Like, this is it. This is all you have to do. Period.
This is back to the basics.
Yep.
Back to the basics.
Over and over and over
and
again.
It's nice because it's so easy to get stuck of like, oh my God, the sky's falling and I can't see. I'm stuck again. And it's literally just calm down, go back to the basics.
Totally.
And you can work through anything doing that.
It's like the strongest foundation, and like people don't teach this foundation. Okay, so it's not
overly
complicated. It's not really overly complicated, but it's not stuff that you think about on your own. It's just not. I mean,
right. It's actually really simple when you look. You're like, oh, that's it. But then it's like if you actually do it, you're like, oh wow, that really was all that I needed.
Yeah.
For any given situation. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, cool. There's something else I was gonna say just now too. Oh man, such a space cadet sometimes. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So that it felt really important to say, but I guess it's not that important. Okay, maybe it'll come up later. I don't know.
Yep. We'll see part 2 later.
Thank you so much again, Ashley.
Of
thank you
course,
everybody who's watched this video. Yeah. All right. Oh no, I remember what it was. Oh, it was that not only has everybody, like, do you guys have access to the course information and stuff like that, but I leave the group open for you guys. So
I really like that aspect, to be honest. Like I've gone through and that was helpful because like you forget. Like I already forgot all of the crazy transformations that I've gone through. So it was really nice being able to, go back. And especially if there were any times where I feel like, hey, maybe I need to do a little bit more work on this, or maybe I want to go back and seeing things with the different clarity that I have now is, I know, going to be, it's just going to keep propelling me versus where I was when I watched it the first time. So that's, I think that's the coolest part. It's not like if you don't, if you miss it, you miss it.
Yeah.
But
I also just can't tear the family apart. I just can't close the group. So this means
I love that group. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's my place to go when I'm like, I have this oddball question. People are going to think I'm nuts. Like,
Yeah, it's
Help me.
totally cool. I love
Yep.
it. I love it so much.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's that. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay,
Yep.
awesome. Thank you again. Like times a million.
Of
I
course.
love you
Thanks.
so much, and I'm so excited for what's going on in your life. Everybody's saying thank you, Ashley. Love you, Ashley. So yeah, thank you guys for watching,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you on Wednesday when Wild Rebel Rising starts. I'm gonna leave a link to go and check out what it is. If you don't know, it's CoreyMichelle.com/wildrebel. And here, I'll just type it right now so that I can pin it. Wild Rebel. This is how you can check out if it's going to be a good fit for you or not. It's not going to just, immediately take you to the landing page or anything like that. I'm going to give you some options. Do you want to learn more? Do you want to get started right away? Or do you want to talk to me? So this is what is going to happen whenever you click the button from my blog. It's going to take you to these other options. Okay, so if you're even curious about it, go click on that link and get hooked in. And let's see if this is going to be a good fit for you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. Bye, Ash.